In this week's AgNow Weather Report, we have a lot of active weather coming our way, including severe thunderstorms, heavy rainfall. We're tapering off the snow in the States, but for the Canadian prairies, they have some snow on the way. And then we're going to be talking about a more active pattern later in April into May. That's all straight ahead in this week's AgNow Weather Report. Hope it finds you doing well. Matt Makins here. These are the significant changes that we've had to the drought over the last 4 weeks. I say significant, but there's been a significant improvement for southern Colorado, parts of New Mexico and Arizona, and throughout the corn country here up into the upper Midwest, where we've also seen some degradation. We've seen drought growth in south central and north central Oklahoma and Kansas. Out of the Boot Heel of Missouri, we've seen some drought growth. None of these changes have been overwhelmingly dramatic, but they are changes. What we're going to do over the next couple of weeks is try to take care of this drought growth area for not only Kansas and Oklahoma, but the Boot Heel of Missouri. We have some heavy rainfall coming in that way. So let's get to the hazards. What are we looking at for the next, say, 7 to 10 days or so? Well, we have wind events out to the west, throughout Colorado, the Rocky Mountain region of the Four Corners, in New Mexico, also out into California. Some high wind events there. Heavy snow and rain for parts of California. See this area, this green area? That's heavy rainfall. That's going to be the upper Midwest down through the Flint Hills and targeting that south central Kansas, north central Oklahoma region. That's going to be the 15th and 16th. Other areas of heavy rainfall. Here's another one, kind of targeting the Mississippi, the Tennessee, and Ohio valleys. And that's going to be the 18th to the 20th. This blue region here, yes, as we see this heavy rainfall, there's going to be the risk of damaging thunderstorms too. We're entering that season, obviously, so we've got to keep our eye to the sky for hail and tornado and wind damage too. But it is water, and it's going to be quite a bit of it. Here is a look at the timeline. Let's go through the next week to 10 days. Big storm system exits as we go throughout this weekend. Now we're into Saturday the 13th and Sunday the 14th. Relatively quiet, but watch right in here as we get into Monday and Tuesday. You're going to see storms popping up. A lot more shower activity develops in this area Monday into Tuesday, and that's going to be growing potential for those severe thunderstorms and that heavy rainfall. There's kind of the initial push of some of the storminess into Tuesday, and watch as this area just gets much more active from Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, and we'll near Thursday now on that timeline, and there's that storm system as it develops. You just watched it develop there. The center of it's going to be over the upper Midwest, but it's going to send this trail, this tail, if you will, of severe weather and heavy thunderstorms down to the south. That is the storm system producing those areas of significant precipitation I highlighted in that previous map. So we have a lot of activity to come through. What does this mean bottom line? What is my rain gauge going to pick up? So total precip favors a lot of the eastern half of the country. Also California, parts of the Rockies, but you can see how dry the Four Corners region is. Let's fly down into this bullseye right in here. So again, kind of the drought growth area was right in here or so. Going to get water. Most of that water is, however, going to be just off to the east. But here we have the Osage country. We're getting down close to Dallas. So let's just say Dallas to Oklahoma City and east all the way toward the Mississippi. We're looking at rainfall totals of 2.5 to 3, perhaps a little bit more with some of the stronger thunderstorms. Quite a bullseye of rainfall there. Great for stock water, great for soil moisture, great for the prairies as they start to green up. Get that water into that grass. Here in the upper Midwest, we also have some heavy precip. So here we have sections of Minnesota, then into Wisconsin, northern Illinois, northern Indiana, out toward the Ohio Valley. And we also see these bullseyes of 1.5 inches, 1.75 to 2.5, and perhaps some 3s with some heavier thunderstorm activity. So it's a lot of water to come through. A couple of crop critical areas and some critical forage areas too. Snow on the way, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Yeah, we have some snow for the northern states. It's really confined to the Rockies though, and the high plains, but we're shifting that snow up into the Canadian prairies. What a blessing that will be as they get ready to plant, start growing, get forages, their dugouts. There's going to be some heavy snowfall there across the Canadian prairies. Take a look at soil temperatures for a moment. I'm using 4-inch depth of the sensors for these soil temperatures. You see the sites located here. What this has changed over the last 2-3 weeks since the last time I showed you this map is how much warmer the soil is getting. It's thawing. The vast majority of these dots are now into the light reds, into the deeper reds, and that's indicative of just warming soils, thawing out if they had been frozen. And what does this tell us? Our soil is now getting ready It's warm enough, it's going to absorb a lot of that water coming down. Even parts of the Canadian prairies where the soil is not firm, it's close to freezing, but it's going to still hold on to a lot of that water. So we've entered now into those spring months where the soil is healthier in terms of picking up and soaking in as much water as is possible. So that's a good way to see a rainy period, or in some cases snowy, as we head into these spring months, being able to hold on to that water in our ground. Let's go beyond that over the near term, and let's go for the next 4 weeks. So here's week number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Week number 4 is stretching out into the first week of May. And what I see is the heavy precip for next week that we've chatted about. The following week, it'll focus on Texas, the southern Mississippi, kind of the Gulf Coast states. A little bit quieter for the last week of April. As we get into early May, moisture stretches from Mexico through Texas back into the Central Plains. And what I see now is a pattern for May that's very favorable for water in the south central states. So southern plains, central plains, moving out into the high plains, into the Rockies. Good water signal is showing up for May. We'll chat more on that on future videos. That's this week's AgNow Weather Report. Matt Makins here. Blessings to you and yours.